All right, let's dive into one of the most important and, let's be honest, controversial parts of digital finance today, stablecoins. They're sold as the solid bedrock for a new financial system, but as we're about to see, that stability can sometimes be, well, a bit of an illusion. Let's break it all down. And just to get a sense of the scale we're talking about, let's start with a number. By September 2025, the global stablecoin market is expected to be worth a massive $300 billion. Yeah, this isn't some niche corner of crypto anymore. This is a major financial force to be reckoned with. So, what even is a stablecoin? Well, at its core, it's a digital currency built to fix crypto's biggest headache, those wild, unpredictable price swings. It's designed to hold a steady value, usually $1. You should really think of it as a bridge, right? It connects the super fast 24/7 world of the blockchain with the familiar stability of the money we use every single day. So here's our game plan for this explainer. First, we're going to explore the promise of these digital dollars. Then we'll uncover the 4 very different ways they try to stay pegged to that $1 mark. After that, we'll get into the rewards. We're talking high yields and real-world uses. Then things get dramatic. We'll see what happens when it all goes wrong. And finally, we'll look at the new rules of the game that are shaping the future of money. Okay, first up, the promise of stability. You might be wondering, why did we even need to invent a stable crypto in the first place? What was the problem we were trying to solve? Well, the answer really comes down to 4 key things. Stablecoins give you the price stability of a dollar, which is perfect for things like payments and savings. But they combine it with the incredible speed and low cost of the blockchain. And since they operate 24/7, no banking hours, no holidays, they can open up financial services to literally anyone, anywhere with an internet connection. But here's where it gets really interesting, and this is probably the most crucial thing to understand. Not all stablecoins are built the same, not even close. In fact, there are 4 totally different methods, or paths, they use to try and maintain that $1 value. Understanding these differences is the key to understanding the risks. The first, and by far the most common path, is fiat-backed. This one is pretty easy to wrap your head around. For every single digital coin out there, there's supposed to be one real US dollar or something super safe like a treasury bill sitting in a bank account somewhere. It's straightforward, but it does rely on a central company to actually hold and manage all that cash. Path number 2 is crypto-backed. So instead of dollars in a bank, these are backed by a whole bunch of other crypto, like Ethereum. Now, obviously, since crypto prices can be all over the place, these are what's called over-collateralized. That's just a fancy way of saying you have to lock up more value than you get out. So to create, say, $1,000 of the stablecoin DAI, you might have to lock up $2,000 worth of Ethereum. It's all managed by code, totally decentralized. The third path is a little different. It's commodity-backed. Here, the coin is tied to a physical asset, usually gold. Each token you hold actually represents ownership of a tiny piece of a real gold bar sitting in a vault. The key thing here is that these aren't trying to be worth $1. Their value is designed to go up and down with the price of gold. So they're more like a digital investment than a day-to-day currency. And that brings us to the 4th and final path, algorithmic. Okay, this is the most ambitious and, as we're going to see, by far the most dangerous. These stablecoins have nothing backing them. No dollars, no gold, no crypto. Nothing. Instead, they rely purely on a clever piece of software, an algorithm, that automatically tries to tweak the coin's supply to keep the price stable at $1. A fascinating idea, but it has a pretty fatal flaw. So, if you put it all together, you can really see the trade-offs. The fiat-backed ones are simple, but they're centralized, so you're trusting the company holding the money. The crypto-backed ones are decentralized, which is cool, but they're only as stable as the volatile crypto backing them. And the algorithmic ones? Well, their number one risk is a complete, catastrophic failure called a death spiral. Okay, so we know how they work. Now let's talk about why they're so incredibly popular. I mean, why are hundreds of billions of dollars pouring into these things? It really boils down to 2 words, yield and utility. The most obvious attraction is the yield. It's pretty simple. While your traditional savings account might get you, 1 or 2% if you're lucky, lending out stablecoins in decentralized finance, or DeFi, can generate returns anywhere from 3 to 5%. And sometimes, with more advanced stuff, you're looking at 8 to 12%. The difference is just staggering. But it is not just about earning interest, not by a long shot. Stablecoins are literally the lifeblood of the entire digital economy. They're moving around $30 billion in transactions every day, a lot of that being cross-border payments. They are the absolute foundation for all of DeFi. And for traders, they're a crucial tool, a digital safe harbor you can run to when the crypto markets get wild. So we have the promise, we have the different designs, we have the rewards, but that stability, it's not a guarantee. And now we get to the scary part, the peril. What happens when the very systems designed to keep that $1 value just break? This is it. This is the question that haunts the entire industry. What happens when a currency that is supposed to be worth $1 suddenly isn't? Let's look at the most infamous case study of all time, the TerraUSD collapse back in May 2022. It all started when the coin just slipped a tiny bit below $1. But within 3 days, the algorithm that was supposed to fix it just completely failed, triggering that death spiral we talked about. By the end of the week, the coin was worthless, gone. And the fallout was just breathtaking. In a matter of days, $45 billion in market value was completely erased. This wasn't some small glitch. It was a full-blown financial catastrophe that sent shockwaves through the entire crypto world. So what exactly is this death spiral? Well, it's a fatal feedback loop. When the stablecoin's price falls, the algorithm prints more of a sister token to try and prop it up. But that just floods the market, which crashes the price of that second token. And that makes it totally useless for stabilization. The system literally eats itself alive until both assets are worth nothing. But listen, it is not just the algorithmic coins that are risky. In March 2023, USDC, one of the biggest and supposedly safest fiat-backed stablecoins, also broke its peg. And the reason why is fascinating. Its reserves weren't lost in some crypto hack. They were just stuck inside a failing traditional bank, Silicon Valley Bank. It was a stark reminder that even the safe stablecoins are only as secure as the old-school financial system they lean on. These collapses were, as you can imagine, a massive wake-up call. They forced regulators all over the globe to finally sit up and pay attention. Which brings us to our final section, the new rules of money that are reshaping this entire industry as we speak. And what we're seeing is that everyone's kind of landing on the same page. Over in Europe, the new MiCA regulation says issuers have to hold full liquid reserves and get authorized. And in the US, it's a similar story. The Genius Act is pushing for one-to-one backing with super high-quality assets and federal licensing. The Wild West days are clearly coming to an end.
So after all that, what should you take away? 3 things. First, you have to understand the backing. Know exactly what is securing that $1 value. Is it cash? Is it crypto? Or is it just code? Second, you have to assess the platform risk. Ask yourself, where's that amazing yield coming from? If it seems too good to be true, it almost certainly is. And third, keep a very close eye on regulations, because the rules of this game are changing fast.
Which really leaves us with one final big question. Are stablecoins that safe, efficient bridge to a new financial future that they promise to be? Or are they just a high-tech, prettier version of the same old financial risks like bank runs and counterparty failure that we've been dealing with for centuries? The answer to that is probably going to define the next chapter of finance.